Alright, so, yesterday, I played this game for about 6 hours, like, I didn't really have anything to do yesterday, so like, you know what, let me play some Rev. Then a genius idea popped into my head. Why don't I learn a character that I really like, but never played before? So, um, this video kind of formed over the day. I was going to do a simple gameplay video, but then I was like, you know what? I could turn this into something. I could turn this into a learning experience. So, this gameplay right here was at the beginning. So at this point, I had only been playing Slayer for maybe 20 minutes, right? And then at the end of the video, the gameplay will be me playing Slayer at the end of like the 6 hours or 5 hours, whatever I played, and you'll see the difference, right? So a lot of people wonder, how do they get better at fighting games? And you know, sometimes people just tell you, "Oh, just keep playing," right? Well, this is proof of that. And that's why I wanted to make this. See, like right here, I'm doing up dust. Why am I doing up dust with Slayer, right? At the time, I didn't know you don't do that, but you'll see I figure it out. And I didn't have any YouTube videos or any websites open. I just literally just played the game and just figured this all by myself. So, like, you should always watch a video or use a website to help you learn a character. But for this sake, I just want to see what I could do on my own, right? I already understand how the game works, obviously. So I figured, why don't I just start from scratch and learn a character? And well, you're seeing that here. So really, I already knew I was able to do this. This isn't news to me. Like, I know I can learn a character just by playing the game. But some people really don't think that's true. Like, some newer players think, oh, when someone tells you just to play the game and get good, they're just like shrugging you off pretty much because they don't want to help you. But this is really the truth. Obviously, if you're a newer player and you don't understand how the game works, you would need like websites and videos to help you out. But if you already understand the game, then you probably don't even need this video anyways. But if you already understand the game, you could just learn a character by yourself with no resources. Obviously, if you want to optimize that character, you're going to need resources. But like I said, this is all one day of playing, just one play session. I mean, I took a break in between, but yeah, it's just one play session, and I learned all of this, and you'll just see how much, like, I'm doing pretty terrible things right now. And by the end, I'm not a Slayer expert. I'm clearly doing not like all the right things, but I mean, it just like the difference is insane, and it just shows you how much playing can actually make a difference, and how if you watch 10 YouTube videos and read a website for 2 hours and just go into a match expecting to be able to do half of that stuff, it just won't work. You literally have to play. And this applies to every single fighting game, not just Strive. You know, I'm not trying to, like, brag, but I feel like I'm pretty, I understand fighting games pretty well. So I'm able to learn characters faster than, like, a newer player will. So this progress right here will take some people days or weeks or even months, honestly, depending on how like good you are and how much you play. But it's possible, right? And then you could definitely get to the level where you could understand a character in a few hours, which is, I feel like, where most people are at when they're not noobs anymore, when they actually understand fighting games. Most people can learn a character in a few hours. Not get optimal. Optimal can take months. Or in like a case like Tekken or something, it could take years, decades even. But when people like when I first started playing fighting games, when people say, "Oh, it will take you years to get this good with this character," that always made me like, I don't know, that personally that made me like feel like dread, like, oh, I'm not going to be good until I put years into a single character. But I didn't realize that means if you want to get to the number one level, if you want to become insane and you want to be known for a character, you might have to play that character for years. But that doesn't mean you can't win without playing that character for years. You can win within minutes if you're good enough. And that's the one thing that really I guess I don't know, like, broke me when playing fighting games for the first time is that by the way, see, I start putting that combo together right there. Slowly it comes into my mind here, and turns out, unless I'm wrong, turns out that combo is the one you're supposed to do. So I was pretty proud for figuring that out on my own. It was fun too. Just playing this was fun. Anyways, hearing that you need years of experience on something to be insanely good, it definitely puts you down, but you have to realize that that doesn't mean you can't win, and that doesn't mean you can't even be high level without years of experience. So, in my case, I mean, I know DNF Duel was a new game, right? It's a new game, but I was high level in that game the first week. Strive, before I started my channel, I was high level in Strive, and at that point, I only been playing Guilty Gear for like 8 months or something, compared to the people who've been playing it for years. I mean, I know it's a completely different game, but it's still Guilty Gear. But I kind of gave up on the competitive side of things until Street Fighter 6, and I'm gonna be competitive at Street Fighter 6. Am I gonna win Evo? Probably not, but you'll see that anyone can be competitive as long as they just play enough. That's the thing. Oh yeah, I do want to mention that I don't think I fight him in this video, but there was a guy in this lobby. Because yes, I was in one lobby for the whole 6 hours, because that's about as many people that play this game. People just kept joining in and out throughout the day. And there was one guy who just started playing this game. And that really gave me the idea for this video, just to talk about how do you even start playing a fighting game. But yeah, so there was just a guy, and I completely obliterated him. I didn't put the matches in here, I don't think, but I completely obliterated him. Understandably so. And after I obliterated him, I told him, like, don't give up, And he seemed like he seriously was not going to give up. And, that was cool. And then I checked his like profile on PlayStation, and I saw that he played a lot of Strive, so he's already familiar with it, right? He's already familiar with the grind. And I think that's the one thing that every single fighting game has in common. And you'll be really good once you break that like barrier, which is understanding that you're 100% guaranteed to be good at the game if you keep losing and keep playing when you lose. So when I see like that someone that's new to a fighting game, also here is proof right here that I get absolutely slapped up. Like, my Slayer was not good enough yet. When I fought this guy. Anyways, whenever someone starts playing a fighting game, right, the number one thing that comes into my mind is, can they handle losing, right? And in my personal case, I have had some friends, many friends, who play a fighting game, they'll lose like 6 or 7 times, and they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna take a break for now or something, and then they never come back to the game. That is the number one thing, losing. As you'll see right here, this guy absolutely flames me, but I don't stop playing the game because of it. It just makes me want to play more. Now, with my Slayer now, I still don't think I could beat this guy. This guy has been playing this game, and I don't think he ever went to Strive. This guy feels like he's been playing this game for hours, and that's fine, because I know that I can beat him one day if I don't stop playing, and I keep focusing on this game, which I might. I'm having a lot of fun in this game, a lot more than Strive currently. Not that Strive is bad, it's just Strive is pretty dry for me right now. But I could beat this guy one day. And that's the thing. That's the number one barricade. And luckily when I first started playing fighting games, all my friends did as well. So I was able to... That barricade didn't even exist for me, right? It was only when I started playing other fighting games, and they don't play other fighting games. They just played Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is what I started on. But when I branched out from FighterZ to KOF or something, right? They didn't come with me. So that barricade really hit, which is keep playing after you lose. You know, if you play like a Warzone game or something, like a Battle Royale, you're more than likely to lose a few times and stop playing, because that's what I do, right? For like, Warzone or a Battle Royale or even Fortnite or something. But this game genre is completely different. The only way to get good at this game is to lose, right? Because if you're winning, if you just start playing the game and you're winning, then you're not even learning anything at all. You can learn a few things when you win, but really when you start losing is when you get good. And if you win a bunch and you get to a high level and you start losing, that just means that you progress to a point that you weren't at before. So losing is very important, and being able to keep playing after you lose is insanely important. Because in a fighting game you have two options. You win or lose. You don't have teammates, you don't have all that stuff. So it's all on you, and you either win or lose. Sometimes I guess you can get a draw, but that's really that's it. And some people can't handle that, right? No, everybody can handle that. They're just too lazy to handle it. They just feel discouraged when it happens, which is fine. I feel like when everyone starts playing a fighting game and they start absolutely getting destroyed, most people would feel discouraged. I definitely was. But I realized pretty quickly that losing is good. And if you care about your stats, like a win-loss or something, you're never going to get anywhere. You can care about those stats once you've understood that you're a good player, and then those stats matter. But if you're just starting a game and you care about win-loss and all that stuff, you stand no chance of getting good. You have to just care. You should care more about losing than winning if you're a new player. Another thing, one thing about that I do want to say, if there's a guy that absolutely obliterates you, like you didn't hit him once, there's a chance that you might not learn anything from that, right? But if you hit a guy a little bit, maybe even win a round, and you still lose, I think that's a perfect match to really teach you what you should be doing. Okay, so by the way, this footage right here, this is the end of the day. And you'll notice the difference. This is probably about hour 4 of 6, maybe 5. And then the last few fights are hour 6. But yeah, you can relate to the difference here, just from a few hours of playing. And that's why I wanted to have this gameplay in the background, because this gameplay is just proving everything that I say to be true. Because, I mean, it is true, obviously. It's not like I haven't experienced this before, but I want to show you that it's 100% true. I wish I could show the time so I can prove to you that this was in this was all yesterday. But yeah, just keep playing. It's as simple as that. And many people don't think it's that simple, but it really is that simple. If you're intimidated by like YouTube videos or guides or something, then don't use them. Just play the game. And get that was something for me personally also. I didn't understand notation, right? I didn't understand what all those numbers meant, it's stuff like that. I didn't understand a lot of terminology when I started playing, right? But I realized I just ignored all of that and just kept playing, and I realized that I was enjoying the game so much that I had zero issues learning the game or learning the terminology, right? So if you feel like, oh, this stuff is too complicated, I don't want to like watch these videos or use these internet guides, then just don't. Because one day, if you keep playing the game and it's the game that you like, you'll literally just want to learn it. And it may even come to you naturally. You might even learn it yourself and then completely understand what it means. And that's just the important part, playing. And I know I keep saying it, and you've probably heard it before, and you probably don't think it's true. I didn't think it was true when I first started playing. Like, oh, you're just telling me to play the game. If you're coming from a game like, again, Call of Duty, right? To get good at Call of Duty, you don't just play the game, you use the best loadout. You use, specific spots on the map or something like that, right? But no, it really is simple as just playing. And for some game genres, it's not that simple, so people don't understand that really is the answer, to just keep playing. And keep playing applies to everything to some degree, but when I'm talking keep playing, I'm talking 1,000 matches, right? Not in one day, but over a few months. And some people think they need 1,000 matches to get good. But the truth is, no matter how good of a player you are, you will get better every day, right? You will keep getting better, no matter how good you are. So 1,000 matches may seem like a lot, but you'll get better every 50 matches or every 100 matches. You'll realize you're a lot further than you were, as long as you aren't sitting at the controller smashing your face on every button, right? That's one thing. When you're a new player, it's very hard to beat button mashers, and if you are a button masher, you literally won't get good, because you have no idea what you're doing, right? So I would avoid button mashing. I feel like that's common sense, but if you button mash, just stop, because you have no idea what you're doing, and you need to know what you're doing to be good. And that's just how it is. I feel like I've been going off on like a bunch of mini rants every time I bring up a point or something, but it's just how I feel, because a lot of people think that they can't play fighting games because they're too hard, which is not true. They can be hard, but that doesn't mean that you can't learn them, right? It's not some human superpower to play a fighting game. Every human being can play a fighting game. Your grandmother could, alright? It's just about putting the time in. Because a lot of games nowadays, they really cater towards, oh, you can play this game in 10 minutes and be great at it, Or it's a single-player story game, you don't really have to be good, Or if you play like a sports game, you don't have to really be good at that at all either. That's why I play this genre, because you have to be good and you have to put the time in. And you will get good if you put the time in. It all comes with the process. You have to work for it, and you do get rewarded no matter what the fighting game is. That's always true. So, you know, the thing is, the one thing you have to remember is that it's always true, but it's not the same for everyone. Someone can get God tier in 5,000 matches, but it may take you 100,000 matches over like 6 different fighting games for it to really click and for you to understand. I don't know how to explain it. Like, a lot of people when they play fighting games, like me, you can understand a fighting game within an hour, like just how it works, or 2 hours, you know. And some people will take days. If you can play a fighting game and it just clicks and you understand it, then I feel like you've reached a pretty good level. And like I said, that level arrives at different amounts of time for certain people. So, but it will arrive. That level will get there as long as you care about learning, and then you play, right? Don't just play and stare at the screen and expect knowledge to flow into your mind, because it will. But as long as if you're paying attention, you'll notice things, right? But if you're just sitting there, another thing that people do, which is about this point, I guess, the moment they start losing, they put the controller down. What are you doing? Don't do that. That happens way too often. Don't put the controller down. All right. Just pay attention, lose, but know why you're losing, and keep watching you lose. And this footage is near the end of the 6 hours, and like as you can see, if you know how to play Slayer, then you'll see I've gotten a lot better. Obviously, I'm not no expert, but gotten a lot better, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I guess this video was kind of all over the place, but I don't know. Shoving guides in your face is cool and all, but the guides mean nothing if you haven't beaten the mindset yet of losing, and understanding that you have to keep playing. No amount of knowledge will make you good until you actually play the game. You know, storing frame data in your brain won't help you until you know how to use it. So that's the most important thing. Losing and continuing to play. Also, arguably the hardest thing are those two things. So once you beat that, you're on the right track. Then you can use whatever resources you need, you know, and just get good and just play the game and enjoy playing the game. Don't be afraid to fight people that you know are better than you, right? If you fight people that are just the same level as you, you might get better, but it'll take much longer. Don't fight people that absolutely obliterate you, though. That's enough. Just find a good ground where you learn and have a chance. And yeah, that's all I had to say. So, hope that helped. I know I didn't give really any specific examples, more broad examples, but you know, that's how it be. So, yeah, peace.